Welcome back to our pivot table version 1.0. In our previous video, we saw how to play around with report filters and then how to play around with timelines and slicer and so on. And this is the most uh, unused, wonderful topics that we have here. So I'm about to create the following list, and we are going to go for not the normal calculation in a pivot table, but the show value as functionality is what we have, and we're going to see how it's going to work for us. Again, if you're working in the older version, the screen will be a little different, but in the newer version, we have a little more additional than what we are normally going to do. Now I'm going to talk about the percentage of grand total right now. So I'm going to just come back in here and then create a pivot table for us. So I'm going to create one basic pivot table, and then from there on, I'm going to just build them all in a new list. So now I'm going to take the toy company and the toy company's product name here. And then I would like to take the revenue generator. This is a normal dimension, and as usually whenever we create a pivot table, we go to design, report layout, and show in tabular form, and then we can just create a right click. Instead of going for a value field setting, I'm going to go for a number format this time. So I'm going to go for number format and then select the currency and give an OK here. So this is a normal value that I get. Now I would like to get three different percentages and show more valuation in this list. So I'm going to go back to this. And at the first line called total revenue, I'm going to rename this sum of total revenue as the revenue. And then adjust them accordingly. And then come back here. I'm going to give a right click here, and then I'll go to value field settings. In value field settings, I'm going to use not the show sum or summarize the value by, because we will be seeing this enough, and we'll see a little bit more about this in our final video on pivot table, and as well as we'll be seeing a little bit more than that in our other videos too. So I'm going to use the next button called show value as. The show value as functionality, now at the moment time and no calculation value, now we can select the grand total percentage. And given OK, automatically gives you the percentage of grand total of whatever sales that I did in this list is. And if you want to know the total percentage of sales by the toy company, then I can just uncheck the toy name out of the equation. You can see that we use the overall sales that the company brand has given to us. And if you want to know by the product here, then I can go by the product here, and you can just sort this according to the value. So when you do that, you can see the top value in Duplo is what, and what is the top value in Lego. So the Lego was bifurcated into two different points, and then you can see that it's giving you two different dimensions altogether. And I can create this as percentage of grand total. Percentage grand total. Based on the grand total, the percentage is broken here. And now I'd like to get one more dimension. So I'm going to again drag this and drop it here. And this time I'm going to use the shortcut method called the right click option and show value as, and then set percentage of column total. So again, the percentage of grand total and column total will always give you the same value. So both of them are typically same in normal Excel. If I create the next dimension right now called percentage on row total, then I'll just go back here and then show value as and select the percentage of row total. Then it's going to show you all of them as because it's taking each and every row here. If your data are other way around, probably it might give you something a little better here. So I'm going to just pop in these two data in a row manner and then bring in the value into here. So again, let me just bring all the values back again because I removed all of them faster. So let me just take this company name in the list, or I can just take the data out of the equation. Now you can see the row wise what is the percentage of total that comes in here. You can see the row wise total that I get in the list here, and then it gives you the breakup of again, your data has to be in one dimension, so that allows you to make the data work actually for you. This is what the column total, row total, and grand total percentage can do for us. And we didn't stop with that, so we are about to go to the next topic in this list that's called running total difference from and percentage difference. Again, this is generally a lot used in analytics. Again, this can be done even in Excel. So many people don't even know how it works in Excel, so I'm going to show you that right now. So let me go back to the old keyboard shortcut Alt and Media and then create the same dimension again. And I'm going to just pick up the dimension in the same list. Then I'll add my toy company and toy name, and then as usual my revenue. So now that data comes in place here, as usual we do our tabular form, and then I will add a number formatting to the data. So to do that, you get the normal valuation here. Now I would like to get the running total for this dimension. So normally running total goes for a daily sales, or if you have a date as a base criteria, there you will see the running total a lot, not in a company name or not in a product that you sell. Generally, I would like to do a product sales here in that pattern. So I'm going to bring in the data down again. I'm going to call this as revenue. Then I'm going to just select all of them and adjust the columns here. And then I'm going to call this as running total. So now I'll give a right click, and I'm going to as usually go to show value as, and then I'm going to just tell the system to create the running total. And it'll ask you how do you want to do the running total. At the moment, the revenue shows by the toy name, so I prefer to keep them in that way. Because if you keep them in the other way around, then it will become really very hard for me, because it's going to give you one-liner answer for me when I do by the top company or toy company name. So now I got the running total coming in, and if you want to know the percentage running total here, so you can do that. So in our list, I didn't add the percentage of running total in our list, so I'm adding that also in this list. So I'm going to say running total and percentage of running total. So if you want to see both of them, you can do that. Just come back to the sheet 4 again. I'm going to just drag another line here. Just I'm going to call this as percentage of running total. And adjust that and give a right click. Then go back to show values. Then just say percentage of running total. And fix the value accordingly. So if the total sales is 11,000 put together in the running total, then that's achieved into 3 different dimensions. So you can see that all the data are taken into consideration. So again, here I didn't add the number formatting yet. Probably I will add the number formatting. That would be nice for me. I can even find out the differences here. So I'm going to just add one more column here. Maybe 2 more columns. Let me add it. So anyway, I'm going to use it, so I don't want to do it 10 times here. So I'm going to just say differences here. Then I'm going to just find out the right click here, and then I'll go to show value as, and I'm going to say difference from. So when I automatically do this, it's going to ask you 2 different conditions here. What is the field based on which you want to do it, and how do you want to do it? So I'm going to talk about from the previous sales. So whatever the sales that we have here, we can do that here. So what are the differences that I have here between the first dimension, where we have a negative, where we have a positive? You can see that. Generally, the differences which we always calculate is not on the logics here. So that's why I just said that even a running total, if I keep the data in date format, that would be nice. And you can see that the entire dimension is changing here because everything is took based on the other components. So I'm going to take the quarter out of the equation. Then I expand all of them here. Okay, right, that's comes in this way. So let me just go back to the compact layout again, so I can see the on list here. So now I can just come back to the show value as, and I'm going to call this as running total. And I'll ask you a question right now: by what dimension do you want to take it? I'm going to take it by the dates. And you get the list, and then again the percentage can also be added here. Again, running total percentage. It's gonna just we need to rename, or we need to just readjust the dimensions here. So I go back to the references again, and this time I'm going to go for differences in this list, and finally I'm going to say percentage differences. And you right click here, and then show value as, and then percentage of differences based on dates. So now it's going to give you the list of data that I have here. This is how we normally build normal revenue, running data, and then total on percentage differences and then total differences. And now I need to give you the next dimension, that's called the parent based. So I'll go back to our sheet again. I can add one more dimension here. So let me add a few more line items on the revenue front. So drag three more revenue line items here. And this was row total. And this is going to be my next list where I'm going to create a summary by the percentage impact total. So I'm going to go by the company name here when I give an OK. It's going to show you the company percentages here. Or I can choose the other way around also. So I say parent total percentage. So company name, I can choose company product name here. So when I do the product name, everything will become 100% fine. So now I like to keep them based on the parent company name here. So I'm going to go back to the list here. And this is percentage of parent. Again, it's going to really work like our grand total percentage and call total percentage. So it's not going to do anything very big yet. So percentage on parent column and then percentage parent row. So we right click here and then go back to the value field settings and say column. So you can see the percentage column is the value field percentage column. So percentage rows is coming currently. And actually the data is not in column, so it's not allowing me to give the column part. So if you want the data, so you put the data in a column or manner so that you get that instantly. Other than this, I can add one more dimension here. I would like to know the ranking of this sales here. So again, I'll create one more revenue below. And then I'm going to call this as rank. If you're using 2013 version, probably you'll only get a rank here. You won't get the smallest to largest, smallest and largest. So here you can have the facility of bringing the row smallest to largest based on the product here. So you can see the product wise with the rank by product. And I can just make it top ranks and bottom ranks, and I can just say that I want to be the largest to smallest. So here the smallest to largest, so that the smallest will become the first rank and largest will become the last rank. So the generate will be other way around. So we can create something like that. So we build our rank, and if you want to create one more dimension, so I want to create what is the profit that I made, not the revenue here. Then I will create a new list here. So here it gives you the total sales and then total purchase cost here. I would like to know the profits here. To find out that, what we will normally do is we'll go back to our pivot table analysis and we'll create a new calculated column here. So I'm going to add a new field to my data. So I'm going to just say data here. I'll say total profit. And when I come down in here, I'll select my revenue line item minus my, it takes the table name here. I'm going to just say insert, sorry, I'm going to just say modified. I think that I already have a profit here. I'm going to give an OK. So now I can take a profit. So now you get the sum of profit for all our. So this I've created using a calculated column in our data. So this is how we play around with our list on show values. Show values gives you a lot of question here. So what I showed you here, we have a little bit more than what we have here. You can see all these dimensions one by one in our list. If you guys use all these components completely, This is Vinod signing out, and stay updated. Happy learning.